Hello, and welcome everyone. Therapy of the Absurd, episode 18. How are you doing, Dana?
I am making coffee. I am fantastic. Literally, as I was running over here to get back on camera, like I nearly toppled my whole light soft box.
Oh
I'm
no.
like grabbing. This is not. I don't want to. It's not that I'm trying not to plug them, but man, right about now, I just grabbed the whole carton and just poured half of it in this cup. And literally, like when I saw like 6 seconds, five, four, I was like, sit down, grab the anyway, I'm fantastic. So grateful to be here. Sorry for bending over people. And just happy to be here. Thrilled to be on the therapy of the sort. We got such an exciting show tonight and all that. I did a
Oh
mic
yes.
earlier
Oh yes.
and I'm
Oh,
excited
how'd
always
that
when I
go?
get to do mics. I was mad though. They were like nice enough to give me extra time, but I don't know if this has ever happened to you. It's probably just me and I'm a little bit on the ghetto side. They were giving me extra time and I missed the notification. So I stopped at the time and I needed I could have used a couple more minutes because I had a couple more things I wanted to run. And you can't really like once you stop and then you see it, you can't, there's like this awkward moment. You can't really go back and say, hey, let me do it now. Like the whole energy is,
Yeah.
gone. So it's a thing.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
all right. But anyway,
All right. Cool,
we have
cool.
no comments. Are we not live to the world?
Oh no, oh yes. Let's
Okay.
see.
Or maybe it's my fault. Like normally we have comments. I was excited to. Anyway, so that's it. So just having a wonderful and my son just
Ooh,
made cinnamon rolls out of the can. It
nice.
smells so good in here. Guess who does not have a cinnamon roll? Me. But they smell like it smells like a bakery up in here right now. A little feeling some kind of way. My feelings might be a little
Mm.
hurt. Anyway, that's it.
Oh yeah. No, my mom used to make these was it Pillsbury orange flavored cinnamon rolls.
Ooh.
And they were delicious, delicious. We did get some big news this week, though.
What's the big news?
Some big news. So Soul Disney Pixar is coming to Disney Plus on December 25th, and something even bigger than that, in my opinion. Uh, hello,
Hey,
everybody.
everybody. I see Lauren Bowman. Like when you say soul, like the movie, like what do we?
Yeah, it's a new Pixar movie.
Oh, the one
Uh,
with the box, right?
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yes. I
And
forgot the
then
name of it. Okay.
And then yesterday, an intern, I believe it was yesterday or day before yesterday, an intern accidentally slipped dropping news that wasn't supposed to be dropped for Warner Brothers. Wonder Woman 1984 is coming to HBO Max December 25th as well. Big,
I'm sure that
big
was
news.
like, where did the intern drop it on TikTok? Like, how did that
No,
happen?
I think it was accidental on one of the sites. They weren't supposed to release it till today or something. And then after
Oh,
that, I think hours later, I think they maybe took it down or something. I think they were saying. And then after that, they just put up a trailer.
right. Oh, poor intern. Either he's the fish that saved Pittsburgh or not. Like one or the other.
So
We got so that's amazing. Like, cause I just feel bad. Like all this exciting stuff is happening. I don't know what it's like kind of meaning for Oscar season. Like One Night in Miami. I know it's supposed to get in a couple of theaters. That is Regina King's film, and like Jamie Foxx is in Soul. So the prayer is that a movie like that will have at least one theater so that it can be an Oscar contention for an
yeah.
animated feature. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
Oh yeah.
I'm not trying to be the dark side, but these are exciting times, and you don't want as a person who's who works in the business, and we are comics, and we're all and I've worked behind the scenes and in production. You still want it to be this big day like it can be, but trust me, it is exciting. I remember when they announced that Soul would be coming out and Jamie Foxx and the whole nine, and I honestly forgot because this is I don't know. It's kind of a weird, time.
Yeah, that's for sure. A lot of crazy, but when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's crazy. I don't know if Soul is getting theatrical release as well. I know, and then maybe it is at the same time. I know Wonder Woman 1984, they are doing both theatrical and HBO Max at the same time. So
So like Wonder Woman 1984. So like I didn't know. Okay.
Patty Jenkins is the director.
Okay.
She's the
I
director
didn't.
of the first one.
Okay. So what is it how do I say? uh like is it why are they call there it is. Why are they calling it 1984? Sorry about that. I had a
Oh, no, no, you're good. It takes place in 1984. So it's gonna be taking place in the 80s.
okay.
I believe it's Christian Wiig is plays one of the villains.
Oh,
Um,
Kristen. Okay, yes, yes, yes.
yeah, so she plays one of the villains. I should have wrote down the name of the character.
That's okay. We can get it. That's the beauty of
Yeah.
so Lauren, Dan is flying in soon. Stacy is staying healthy and safe and strong by not giving out any germs over the airwaves.
That's
So
right.
she's not feeling 100,000%. So we're just lifting high vibes for her health. But Dan
That's right.
should be here any moment, any time now rather. So we're looking
Oh, yeah.
for him. And I just want to say, and we want to say hello. We got Natalie Booker, one of my dear friends in the chat. We used to all work with Yolanda, so we're so happy. We've got of course therapy of the absurd. I can't speak. Sergio Wolf is in
What's going
here. Love
on?
you,
What's going on?
Sergio. Always just you guys. I don't even say we just you stick with us, and we
That's
are
right.
thrilled. I I can speak for me.
Yeah, you help
Some of
lift us.
you
You help lift us up.
some of you may be related to host Lauren Bowman. Some of you might have a little connection there. But mhm.
Oh man, but that's exciting. And then we also brushed my little Boston Terrier's teeth this week, so that's really good.
Say that again. You do what?
We got doggy toothpaste and a toothbrush and brushed the dog's teeth.
Oh, so
Oh
this
yeah.
is all a new education for me because I never like to say this amongst large groups of amazing white people whom I love so much. I'm not a dog person. And so like all these things are like very, very interesting to me. And so like, but I'm just like, I don't know if I would deal having had a child. I don't know that I would be putting, I don't know that I have it in me. And
Uh,
I joke, but Natalie, my friend Natalie, who's on here, Natalie Booker is a dog walker and she's so
oh,
amazing. And African American, so it's just me. It's not all of us. And she's so amazing with her amazing dogs and all the stories and all the good stuff. And
nice.
hi to Moose, Natalie, hi to Moose, and all that. But it's a cute dog. Like, oh my God. And then hey Nikki, I just saw Nikki, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna try to
Hey,
say
Nikki.
all of that right there from Twitch. We love you. I'm not even gonna try to say it. What up? We're happy you're here,
Oh
Nikki.
yes. Hello, hello, hello. And then she also bought some looks like Christmas dog clothes and put it on the dog and took pictures.
Wait, who did that?
My wife.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And yeah, Lauren, no, I do not have pets. I raised one amazing son. That's about it for all of the assisted living support I'm going to do. No, I'm teasing. But I don't have any right now. I don't have any intentions. Nothing captures my heart. I'm so single. Stray cats don't follow me home, so I just don't know if I.
Oh no, yeah, my wife and I were joking because we're like, no, no more kids. We don't want to change any more damn diapers. And here we go. We got a baby puppy, and we're changing these pee mats like 24/7,
I was gonna say.
nonstop. We went from like diapers to pee mats. you know? Oh man. And Thanksgiving, what is that? That's next week, right?
Yes.
Oh man. Yeah. Can't wait to get that turkey and that honey ham.
Like I don't know. I'm thinking I might bake pies. Like I got a new
Ooh.
oven back in June, and I'm thinking, and I just for the hell of it, I just bought two nice sacks of sweet potatoes, organic
Ooh.
and some regular ones. I'm thinking might be pie time. Are y'all ready for
Ooh.
pie time? Might be
Oh,
pie time.
sweet potato pie sounds delicious. Is
Mhm.
that what you're gonna be making? Sweet potato pie?
I think so because it's Natalie has had mine before, so she knows I'm no slouch. I'm no slouch. I'm proud.
Make some
I'm
some fire sweet potato pie, huh?
Yeah, so I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to do it.
Oh,
I'm trying
sounds
to
good.
turn up my sound. I feel like there's all this adjustment, but I can't. It's not big and loud and coming through my headphones. But I like making pie, and I like in particular sweet potato and making pecan, and those
Ooh.
are two of the best pies I make. I've made apple, but apple is not an easy pie to make. Like it's just not. And I have like I in my mind because with sweet potato and even with pecans, you're dealing with as much as you can, live fresh things, whether it's just the nuts. So in my mind, the vision is to be able to have apples that we've baked, but man, I'll do good just to get some out of a can with no high fructose
Oh
corn
yeah.
syrup though.
Oh yeah.
But I'll be happy just to get some out of the can and try to make it from the can because it's not a game when it comes to apple pie.
Yeah.
You can't just like I mean I'm a good recipe person. Like people have had I've cooked other things. I make a mean chili, but apple pie
Ooh.
is your girl is not excellent at that, and I want
Ooh.
to if I'm doing it, I want to be excellent at it.
Oh no,
So
I feel you. I feel you. You said chili, huh? What kind of chili you make,
just I mean I
Nick?
just there's just some special things I know what to do there, but I'm trying to the little thing that we were using. It's a thing that's got beef stock, and
Oh,
so
okay.
every year I try really hard, but it tastes really good because I
Mm.
don't do beef. It doesn't. It's not. There's no beef in it. But if the point is to say that not only am I looking out for health, but I want to be gentle to animals, then having beef stock is really no different than just some ground beef. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. No, I hear
From a love on the animals point of view. So I
you.
got to figure out my chili situation this year.
Yeah.
Oh, Lauren says chili is your weakness. Got
Oh
it.
no, oh no, yeah. I'm a sucker for some chili. If I walk in Costco pre-COVID and they got free chili, I'm eating it.
Right? We love Costco for the road shows, right? When you go
Sir,
in there and
sir,
there's
sir,
all
you've had
manner of
eight.
things.
Sir, you've had 8 samples. That's enough.
Right, right, right. Just all of everything. Just stand in the one spot all day. I remember like the competition for the Vitamix is the Blend Tech. And
Oh, there you
so
go.
I remember being in there years ago and just standing there for he made everything. He made gazpacho. He made
Oh man.
coffee milkshakes. Like whatever he made, I was standing right there. I had a sample of everything that he made out of that blender in that whole, whatever
Hell yeah.
from one end of the spectrum. And what was amazing and it wasn't gazpacho. This is what I will never forget about it. And I kid you guys not, y'all don't have to believe me. The soup was warm.
Mm.
Like he had no heating apparatus, but whatever he did up there when he blended the soup, it was actually warm coming straight out of the
Ooh,
blender.
ooh,
I was
wow.
like, you are magic, dude, right now. Anyway, I don't know how that was the trick of the day. Everything else is easy. You throw ice. And then he cleaned it, right before ice, threw a little water in there, did everything, and anyway.
Nice. Nick, Craft Crew. What's up, man? Yeah, Dan is running late, but he will be here. And Stacy's out because she's sick and has a really bad cough. But she will be with us next week. Dan will be here in just a few minutes. And
Mhm.
hello, hello, hello. So SNL. Who's
Yeah.
your favorite host, or what are some of your favorite skits, or both?
So it kind of runs from one end to the other. We go far back as I was much respect for Gumby, but not, but from the Eddie Murphy days, just because I
Mm.
was like the R&B like soulful kid. I just still remember Eddie Murphy would do Stevie Wonder, and I just remember the bit. I don't even know the whole bit, but Stevie Wonder came in, and they were there together,
Oh yeah,
doing the
that's
thing. And and again, a kid of the 70s, 80s, that shit is amazing, when you love Stevie Wonder and you love Eddie Murphy, bringing it forward. And I say this, bless the heart. Everybody on here knows we lost Chadwick Boseman this year, feeling emotional, like out of nowhere. I didn't mean to, but oh my God, like Black Jeopardy, and the sketch with him and the potato salad. Like
oh
I
yeah.
think because I still remember when I sat down and I watched it the first time, like when it came on in real time. I loved how when they were asking, like, who do you put your cable bill's name in? And it was like, he said, your grandmother, because it brings great honor. Like he was like, obviously we know the character he was playing, but that shit was so funny. And obviously I didn't know the first time I saw it, we didn't know where it was going. So the potato salad, I feel like it's a historic sketch no matter what happens. I mean, obviously it is just wrapped with that much more because of,
Yeah.
because of the loss. And just watching I loved Dave Chappelle's opening the other night, but honestly, I really loved Chris Rock's opening monologue a few weeks ago.
Yeah, his
So it's you know as far as because it's like over the years you've just seen some great things and you see great performances, and again bringing it very forward as someone who has a lot of respect. Excuse me, y'all. Y'all heard a burp. It has a lot of respect for Megan Thee Stallion. I here's the thing. I'll say this. With all the birthdays, we went from a time where you didn't always see a lot of black performers like in the 70s. I'm talking about going back, not necessarily to just make it like we'll never, that's not, none of that's accurate that we, of course we have. But when you see
Yeah.
like these things have this full spectrum of performers and hip hop and all these things that happen. And all the greats have been on Saturday Night Live,
Oh yeah.
or Letterman or any of those. And I know we're talking about Saturday Night Live, but I loved that Megan Thee Stallion's performance, they did their best to do something extremely special with that in terms of sending a message, because we were certainly feeling some kind of way about the Daniel Cameron decision. And so I would be lying if I said it was one of my favorite performances. That wouldn't be accurate. But
Yeah.
I loved the freedom to do so, and that they had that platform in that space to do this wonderful thing, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, I honestly liked the Justin Bieber Holy performance. I think when was Justin on? I think Justin was on with Chris Rock recently. Like
Oh,
who?
okay.
I can't even recall. Like it all runs together.
Yeah. I don't remember who was on with Chris
Yeah, in terms
Rock.
of performance. No, like no. Okay, so Dave Chappelle had Foo Fighters. That's what I do remember. That his
Yeah, I remember
performance.
that.
So I don't
And
remember
then
who Justin Bieber.
and I
No,
know
Issa Rae was hosting
oh
when
okay.
Justin Bieber performed. So
Okay.
like, and that was exciting too. Historic moments that Tiffany Haddish got to be, that she was a host. So again, when you say favorites, favorite is hard, but when you say things that really really tickled my fancy, like grabbed my heart, that I totally enjoyed. So of course Tiffany Haddish, but I enjoyed Issa Rae because if nothing else I was just like, is my girl, let's see what my girl's got. And just some great stuff came from her. But I would say that of modern performances, she did. Justin Bieber was really really good. Like I
Yeah.
just was. But I would say if there was a rating, and there's not, Megan Thee Stallion, then Justin Bieber.
Mm.
Stephen, what is Stephen? What about you?
Host wise, I mean, of course I love Eddie Murphy. I mean, anytime he hosts, I mean, I can't say that enough. Till the cows come home, man.
Right?
That's just one of my favorite actors of all time and comedians. But I love
Yeah.
Mr. Is it Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood?
Yes. Yes.
Obviously Gumby. I think to this day, I think the one thing that still tickles me, and I watch it over and over every so often, is Buck. What is it? Buckwheat with the hot tub.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, hot water in the
Yes.
hot tub. Ah, you know. And then the one also that really got to me when I was a kid was Martin Short. He had a character called Ed Grimley, where this was pre Ace Ventura, so his hair would kind of curl up, and he had this orange plaid shirt and these tight pants, or maybe they weren't super tight, but they were tight. And then he had a dead goldfish, and he had a triangle, and he would run around in this room and say all this really crazy, wacky, cartoonish shit. And I just thought it was uh, that was one of the dolls that I used to sleep with when I was a kid. He'd pull the string and he would say all these SNL lines from his sketch and Saturday Night Live. I loved it. That and the Pee Wee Herman doll. Those were my two favorite.
Wow.
Favorite. I'd pull the strings all till it stopped working. They would just you know,
Right. I remember those types of things.
yeah,
Those. We all had.
and then Dana Carvey, church lady.
Good one. Good one.
Oh
Good one.
yeah, I love
Like
that
that's
one.
a forgotten era in my mind. You just brought it all back. Amen.
Oh yeah, and then I think the next one that comes to mind, and there's like way too many, but is the Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley when they're Chippendale dancers, and they're both competing for the ladies' attention, and Patrick Swayze's taking clothes off, and then Chris Farley's taking clothes off, and they're dancing.
Right.
Oh, I love that one. That was so hilarious. Oh man,
Because Chris
I'm.
Farley's getting all the reaction. That's
Oh yeah,
I
oh
remember.
yeah.
Like I'm trying. Like so for some odd reason that one sticks out in my head. But yeah,
Oh yeah, Swayze's all serious and straight.
amazing, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, and that one stuck with me. I mean, there's so many good ones, man. I mean, even the original Coneheads with Dan Aykroyd and all the original
Gilda Radner.
yeah, man, classic. That's the stuff I grew up on, and thankfully my dad that was one of the things we actually bonded on together. Every Saturday night when it was my turn to be at his house. Um, when it was time for his time when they were divorced and stuff, and that was one of the other than movies. Saturday Night Live is something that he'd always watch, so I'd always watch it with him and stuff, and yeah, that a lot of good memories.
Amen. I love that.
Was there any other skits for you that maybe stuck out?
Not really. Like I just, I love the work. I have to admit, I love the work. Being a Maya Rudolph fan, period. Like just the political work. I apologize, you guys. I'm trying to get this alarm to stop alarming, and I forgot what am I doing wrong that I'm not getting stop. I don't know. It won't stop. And
Is
you know
that
how
a
they.
is that
Oh,
an
I know what
iPhone?
it is. So you guys hang with me. Let me. I remember. It's the lever. You gotta. Even once it goes, it's snoozing until you toggle and tell it
For
no
sure.
more. Um, I love just the work of Maya Rudolph.
Mm.
I'm trying to think, like, because there was stuff that Leslie Jones. You know what? I like the news, and honestly, I dig the news with Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's good
and
stuff.
there's nothing, excuse me, that sticks out at this exact moment. But I dig the news. I'm just trying to think, like, all of a sudden I want to think of something and remember something with Leslie Jones, because I just remember how exciting it was that she was on there. Oh, the Disney Princesses one is very good.
Oh,
um
okay.
that she it's a recent one, it's a little more recent, but I want to say that's the one with when Chadwick was hosting. They do one where they're Disney princesses, and her Disney princess. It's not R. Kelly. It's like something I don't know. The skit is real. Like it's funny. It's just funny. It makes fun because
Yeah.
anytime, with all due respect, anytime you're making fun of R. Kelly, I'm sorry. Like there is a
I
dark side to me, and yeah,
Yeah. No,
if you
no, that's the like the Chappelle stuff, man. I love all the Chappelle stuff with that stuff. But
say that one more time, it
um
broke up. It broke
oh no, I was just saying I
up.
love the Dave Chappelle stuff about R. Kelly. The stuff with Dave
Right, right,
Chappelle.
right. So we
Yeah, I love I don't know. I was just saying that was funny. Could you hear me that time or no?
yes, I did. And then
Oh, okay.
also just to add in some I've forgotten, an amazing soul who we didn't mention,
Oh,
Will
my bad.
Ferrell. Can you guys see me?
Oh yeah, we can see you.
Okay, Will Ferrell. I just my screen started acting weird right quick, so I
Oh,
just
we
wanted to
got
make sure.
Kate. We got Kate. Yes, Kate Cantor. Leslie Jones on the Olympics was amazing. Yes.
Ah, yes, yes,
Thank you.
yes. She brought up a good one, just a good one, just a good one, just a really good one.
Oh yeah, I think the other one that hits me is Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd, two wild and crazy guys.
Ah, that's right. That was like sometimes, some of that more. I hate to say some of that, like that. Those just weren't the years that I was really watching, and like like I'm like these are great folks. But I was like, at that point, I have to admit, I was probably in my more militant young stage. Like, where are the black people?
Yeah,
Like
no, I
who?
feel you.
Because the guy, and why is his name escaping me? The Tim. What is
Tim
Tim's
Meadows.
last name?
Tim
Yes,
Meadows.
yes, yes,
The la-
yes,
the ladies man.
yes, yes, yes. So I would try to, I would try to
Underrated.
dig in.
Yeah.
Set, I would try to dig into that just because I was like, well, this is who we got.
No,
Black
I
America.
liked it. I liked his ladies man movie. I don't know if you've seen it.
Right.
So it's very
No, it's
underrated.
like
I liked it.
much respect, but I just was like, so much respect, but I was just like, I don't know if I find you that interesting. I want to find you more interesting than I'm finding you right now, and that's it. It didn't go
Yeah.
for me like I wanted it
Or
to go.
Chris Kattan and Will Ferrell, their Night at the Roxbury characters.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
doing the whole. I love that stuff. Aye, aye, aye. Let's see here. Did we want to bring on
We
the get?
do, we do. And
Yeah.
I have to, don't laugh at me. Like I had everything set up, but like for some odd reason, all of my stuff that I need has disappeared into thin air. So I'm trying not to cry on the broadcast in front of anyone. But like I had all of my stuff kind of on this little thing so that I would be like super what's that word? Prepared to to talk about people who both of course need introductions because they're amazing. So let me just jump in while I figure out why my tech is not showing me what I need to know.
Oh, you're
So
fine.
we have two amazing guests. Like in this time of COVID, everybody knows that we Zoom has basically taken over the world. Like, can we all agree that
Oh yeah.
Zoom has taken over everything? And as a result of Zoom taking over everything, we have seen unparalleled expansion in the space of streaming entertainment. And it was an election year, so then you saw something else very special happen. You saw an opportunity for the electorate and those who produce and plan to become really, really involved and engaged. And amongst some of the engagement that we saw, the unprecedented engagement that we saw, and we had a chance, I think it's amazing how we made the adjustment. And I think that's what I really want to get at. And these two guests speak to that. And that's why I'm so excited to have them on. So first we have Yolanda D. Hunt. I just want to talk about Yolanda for just a second because Yolanda is someone that I've known, and it is nice when you feel like, not even feel like, when you know you have friends in high places. And let me see, we're going to try to, we don't want to take all day because she's got credits and all that. So Yolanda currently is a casting consultant and is making her mark at BET Networks.
Ooh.
Has worked in managerial positions at BBC Productions and USA BBC Worldwide. And so, but she's on to her roots again, a casting consultant. But let's just talk about this California native for just a second. She began her career in casting with director John Singleton on the music video classic. You guys get this? Remember the time? We all know. Everybody remembers the
Uh,
video with Magic
remember
Johnson.
the
You know,
time.
and so she in her career after that, but soon under the direction and mentor casting guru, who hopefully will get to the broadcast one day as well, Robbie Reed, landed the title of casting assistant on the classic movie Poetic Justice. And I don't have to go through the cast. And so then she became best known as casting some of the greatest stuff we've ever wonderfully seen from, and projects with the Wayans brothers, Malcolm Lee. Like, because I say this personally, I was working on a floor above her when the first Best Man was cast. So Best Man, Crooklyn, Kingdom, Turn It Up, Light It Up, the PJs. Just, we could go on. And then she moved on to, and national commercials as well for Coca-Cola, Sprite. And then in her current capacity, we have her on tonight because there were these amazing events put on by her and this amazing team to further engage voters and the electorate of color in the census process and preparing to vote. And we saw these amazing episodes, the Zoom Where It Happens, with seeing from Golden Girls to Friends, with African American cast and with stars that we love, but all on the platform of getting folks involved and informed. And I think that she demonstrated that you can take all of your superpowers and hers, which is an eye for talent, and turn it into something extraordinarily special. And as we know by the outcome of the election, that changes the world. We also have, that we'll be bringing to the stage, now I sound like the comic MC, Lindsay Moon, who is building and building, this amazing comedian who just saw an opportunity as a Biden-Harris volunteer to say, what can I do to make a difference? And like Yolanda, culled together all the skills that she has for bringing people together, for being funny herself, being an actress and just a producer, and said, we're going to put on a show. And when she reached out to me, I thought we were going to do one show. I believe we did 8 or 9 shows. I don't
Oh
even
wow.
know. Like, we became a weekly series. And we're bringing to the stage Lindsay Loon and Yolanda Hunt, two people who helped change the outcomes of this year's 2020. I feel like I'm about to cry. Like, I'm talking about y'all and I'm excited because we have two
Welcome,
amazing,
welcome.
amazing. And as everyone can see, we have two women who helmed and worked with and coordinated with and collaborated, amazing team members to bring us events and just media that makes a difference. So both of you look fantastic. That's first. Kisses, Yolanda, I feel like I just can't wait to be in your presence. It's been so long since I've seen you in the natural. And one of the things I want to say, and I'm going to stop, it's 8:30, so it's time for me to stop. Lindsay is an example of what Zoom can do, because this is a fellow comic whom I met in the Zoom space. We'd never met in person until finally one day we did. And my life has been forever changed and impacted by a relationship that just began, like we are all talking here. So I want to welcome Yolanda Hunt and Lindsay Loon. Welcome,
Yes,
ladies. The
welcome.
therapy of the
you.
attorney.
Woo! Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So I'm going to start with Yolanda, and you guys are gonna talk about your processes. So Yolanda, how did you become involved with the Zooms where it happened? Like, tell us about that.
It really literally, I got a call late one night from Regina King, and she said, Yolanda, I'm doing this project, and well, I have some friends that are doing this project, and I know that you do casting and you can pull it together, and it's all women crew, and we're gonna, you can make this happen. I was like, absolutely, no brainer. She was like, it's leading up to the elections, and we want to be able to get out there and just do our part. So this is what we want to do. And so, a lot of actors, and they all came together, and they decided to make this happen. And when I got on my first Zoom call, I realized that I was working with the likes of Stephanie Lane and Ava DuVernay, and we were
Mm.
all on this Zoom call, and I was like, okay, didn't you left out those details, but I love it. Great, let's go. And I can say that the political aspect of it, Karen Richardson really was the driving force behind that. She's the one who got all of the organizations that we were, promoting each show that we did. She got all the literature there. She got us, getting out there and calling those states, Michigan
Mhm.
and all of Georgia, like the day before the election. She's the one who really was like the driving force behind getting that literature and that knowledge out. And
Mhm.
it was just kind of a no brainer for them to
To
uh, to do this. It was just really a no brainer.
Before I go to Lindsay, because I have the very same question, did you have any idea? You guys basically, with that very first episode, the Golden Girls, like, this is, I don't want to, well, I'm not going to say I don't want to, I'm going to say this, I sound country. Y'all broke the internet. Like, I got on, but everybody was everywhere chatting, like, I can't get in. What's the link? Did you get in? Like, everybody was bitter. Did you have any idea that something like that would call together those types of numbers for people to watch? Yolanda, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to Lindsay. My
Oh,
bad.
and
Can you repeat
I'm
that?
sorry. So I was saying I would go to Lindsay with the same question, but like you guys basically had a sold out crowd for the very, very first one. Like, and I was just saying that everybody was pretty upset because people couldn't get in to
Yeah,
see.
we were overwhelmed because I guess well, Zoom only has the capacity for 50,000 people to join. That is their cap. So we had over 250,000 registrations on that first show. So then that's when they decided to have the rollover. So then the rollover went to they had different platforms, which was YouTube.
Too, right.
Yeah, so that
But
was
like in your mind, like when you guys were doing everything, did you have a concept for the fact that more than 50,000 people would even come?
you know what, I think that we were definitely we were overwhelmed with the response. We didn't think, because we literally didn't promote it until that Sunday is
Oh
when our
wow.
first rollout came out. So we only had Sunday and Monday, and then we went live on Tuesday. So we didn't think that the rollout, we were like, okay, well, the first round, people will hear about it, and then they'll want to join in for the second round. And the numbers like hit the ceiling on the first round. So we were just like, okay, we're on to something here.
Wow. Amen. Now, Lindsay,
Go
so
back to
you
the drawing board. Let's get some really good content and some great actors, and let's really just go hard.
all right, we're gonna come back to that because you're saying great actors when you had the heavy hitters from front to back, but that first one, like we played the game. Let me talk to Lindsay. Lindsay, so you're sitting somewhere like Yolanda. I don't know that you got a magical, amazing call, but you had a call in your mind. Tell us about the idea of conceiving a comedy show
Yeah.
for Biden Harris.
Well, I mean, it's basically the same story. Regina King also called me. No, I wish that was the story. Um, it was funny. I joined as a volunteer, expecting to do calls and text bank and write postcards. And when I found out that hosting events was possible, I was like, oh my God, I can actually do this, because I run an international film festival in a few locations. And the idea of getting together an event pretty quickly and entertaining people was just something that I knew I could do, and it was amazing to be able to do that and to find a team within the Biden supporters. Like Dana Keel was very, very helpful. And Tom Mayer and Lisa Cassandra, and just having a core group of people who wanted like us to keep it going really, really helped.
And then I'm going to ask you this question, then I'm going to toss this one back to Yolanda. So to you, Lindsay, did you anticipate, because I'm trying to remember from the beginning, I think you anticipated maybe 1 or 2 shows. I remember when we were working on the first flyer, you said you'd do the next one. Did you anticipate, or did you think that you were going to have shows all the way up to the election every Sunday?
I honestly thought that we'd have one, or maybe one at the beginning and one at the end. I did not anticipate having it every week. It was a surprise to me as well.
Did you find that people were that it came from people's response of saying, can we see more of this? Okay.
Yeah, I hate saying no to people, especially when it comes to something like sharing a community event. And, I thought I'll do this until I can't do this. And I managed to do it. So yeah, it was challenging, but it was really enjoyable. And each week we had different performers, and we had a core group of performers, but then we constantly had new people, and that also kept it challenging, but kept it fresh. It kept me I wanted to know who was going to perform next.
Right, producer. So when Regina King came to you, Yolanda, did you guys have a vision for several events? Because you guys didn't do them every week. You did them like every other week, if my memory serves.
We did every other week, and then after we did the split for those 2 weeks, we went back. We went 4 shows back to back to back.
Got it. So you guys didn't necessarily start out intending to do a bunch of shows?
Well, actually, the to my knowledge, there was already that they had the amount of already in place.
Oh, okay, got it.
So I was told how many shows I needed to have cast.
Got it. And then what is the casting process like that? Had you casted any Zoom things or Zoom events or Zoom shows before?
This is my very first one.
Wow.
So this was like diving in head first. It was an amazing experience because everything was done so remotely. Everyone got to do, all of their scenes they got to do in their home. Mm-hmm. So everything was all, COVID. We were very COVID safe on it. So, and that was, I think, the lure is because no one had to be with anyone. So right. Everyone was just like, oh, heck yeah. Even though, and the time we started doing and the more we started getting into the later shows, all of our shows started going back up like Blackish and other shows started, going into pre-production because they were getting the green lights. So everyone that was saying yes in early September were like, I'm gonna let me check my schedule. So it was just like, oh, I got, I had them in the arsenal. So it was okay.
It was okay. Right, because on the very first one, you had Tracy Ellis Ross on that very first one. Yep. I was trying to explain it all to somebody the other day, and I couldn't even remember, but I just remembered Tracy. I remembered Lena Waithe. I remembered Sanaa. I remember Alfred Woodard, of course. I remember
Regina,
of course, because I remember, who was that? I want to say Regina sneezed, and I think
Williams was
yes.
Jesse Williams.
But Regina sneezed, and I was like, Tracy, I think somebody said you get an Oscar for that sneeze right there. So I don't know.
Yes. And they just threw that in there. The great thing about that is that even though we had, our run through and our rehearsal and our stumbles on that, it was live.
Right.
So if it was a blooper and they ran with it, and if you didn't know that, there was a blooper because they just,
they just kept going.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I have to say, doing the casting for that project was a lot of fun. A lot of personal phone calls of picking up the phone and let's make
a deal.
Yeah,
it translated for us. Now I know you definitely were involved on the more on the casting side than anything, but I want to talk to both of you about, to whatever extent you can share. And Lindsay, I'll pop back to you. The challenges of being live, and I know you can speak to this, Yolanda, even if it's just that. So, but to you, Lindsay, being live, what are the extra layers of intensity that adds to a production?
Um, well, I love comics. I am a comic, but sometimes trying to coordinate comics is like herding cats. And even on the day, there were special requests and stuff being made. So as I was trying to take care of the audience, I was also tending to the comics. Um, the musicians were surprisingly low maintenance, actually. We should learn from them. But yeah, dealing with people's needs kind of at the moment. And also on Zoom, things are unpredictable. We had one situation where somebody made a really negative comment to one of the comics, and it was a very tense moment. She handled it brilliantly. She just said, "Mom, are you there?"
Right, right. I
Yeah.
was there. I was there.
Yeah, critical comments. Critical comments happen, but for the most part, the audiences were great and the comics were great. Even with having to juggle people's wants and needs, it was really a pleasure. There were a lot of different personalities, but we made it work.
That last part for you though, Lindsay, and then Yolanda, we're flying in. It puts a lot of tech responsibility in your hands. I mean, both of you, and especially you, Yolanda, such a long-standing career in film and television. Those are the parts that the performer and even an on-set producer doesn't have to think about. Lindsay, just give us a little bit about, like, was there an extra layer of anxiety because of tech? Worried about Zoom, like just tech at all?
Well, we had a wonderful guy, Tom Mayer, who helped us with a lot of the tech. He wasn't available at one point, though, and we also had a bit of a learning curve. So there were times where we had to juggle and we had to mute people and figure out what was going on very quickly so it didn't disturb the flow of the show, especially since, with the comedy, you don't want to break people's rhythms. So yeah, there was a constant tension.
I got it.
You could hear the Jaws theme in the water. And somebody's going to pipe up and say something, or just leave their mic on when they have an argument with their husband or whatever.
Right. Now, on the other hand, Yolanda, I'm sure at such a large level or high level with such a large audience, like you guys don't have that challenge. You don't have an audience in the Zoom the way that we do kind of on these on the ground shows. But were there any other layers to the tech and that side of production that made this as a already live production any more intense than it already was?
Well, we dealt with a guy, gentleman by the name of Brian at Zoom, which is amazing. And I think that what we did is we had to stumble through with our stand-ins prior to our actors. So I think that really helped iron out a lot of things with our directors, so that because we only, literally we only use the actual actors for 4 hours, 2 hours for rehearsal, and then an hour before they came in, to do a run through, and then we go an hour live. So we like doing a full script, and 9 times out of 10, if they're working, they probably didn't even see the script until we put it on the teleprompter that day when they went live. So, or when we did the rehearsal. So it was, it could have been some challenging moments, and I had to really jump in on the fact, since it was remote, that some of these actors were in New York, and I'm in New York. So I got a whole shooting kit now.
You have a what kit? Say that again.
I have my own shooting kit now.
Oh, so that, which is my next question. Like, you just said teleprompter, so I'm like, did you have to go to people's homes and like help them with that, or did they have?
They had a laptop, a LED circle light, and a mic. They were good to go, and a green screen.
And a green screen.
Because Zoom dropped in all of the backdrop, the backdrop,
right,
backdrop to it. So, and they controlled all that. So it was easy for them to be able to do that end of it. It was just getting it to the people, because people started doing a lot of moving around. And on Friday I was told they were going to be in LA, but then on Saturday I'm told they're going to be in Atlanta. So then boom, Saturday I'm going to buy equipment to make sure that I have it on a plane Monday to be there live for Tuesday.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow. Let
It
me
was
ask you this, Yolanda. Who, because you were saying that one of the things you mentioned was that when Regina came to you, things were kind of set. Had all the selections for not only the shows, but the episodes of shows? Do you know how what went into the choosing of the particular episodes that were chosen?
Ryan Bethea and Ryan Michelle Bethea and Tessa Thompson were in charge of programming, so they chose the actual shows and the scripts. Normally, when you do like a show, like a series, kind of like that, in the real world, we get the outlines in advance, so we know what we're casting. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna, I jumped on. I'm gonna be have this done by the end of September, and then realizing that there's clearances that have to come into play and certain things because you are doing it live and you aren't doing it and it's a one-off, so you don't have to go through so much red tape, but you
Uh-huh.
have to be able to get the rights to be able to use the script and their likeness. Like how we were able to change the names, the faces, and do the little how they did the little flashes of who's what the original and then the new. So those things all came into play. So it was like a trial and error kind
Okay.
a kind of situation, and it's a learning curve because it was great to know that now you want to have all of these things in place before you like jump
Wow.
in.
I gotta say this, and I want to, and I definitely want to kind of go back in both of your careers to what you think most prepared you for this day. But I have to confession session, and this is definitely for our folks here. And if there's anybody, you guys amongst the commenters, please, you guys, for the folks in the audience, if you guys have questions for Lindsay or Yolanda, please feel free to ask them because we are, these ladies have done some amazing things. And if you guys have questions for them, we want you to ask. Stefan, of course, everybody knows, anybody who knows me personally, I'm a talker. But like, I personally, and I know this is going to sound like sacrilege, I never watched Friends. When Friends was on TV, it came during the years of my very much like in protest of anything that has no representation of African Americans. And it came at a time, even when they brought on Aisha Tyler, with all love and respect, it was, for me, it was too little too late. Like you've built a house that you basically are doing this add-on, kind of a plywood add-on to, and that's no disrespect to Aisha, who I love, who I respect as an actress and a comedian, and and a host and all the things that she does. But you guys, what the work that you guys did and the casting that you guys did gave me an episode that I enjoyed and that I could follow as someone who cared, so little. And here's the thing, I respect all the actors who were on Friends. I love Jennifer Aniston, I love Lisa Kudrow, but just that framework was, who I was at that time, that was problematic for me. But
Exactly.
I
That
want to
was
give you
TV at that
just
time.
shouts out. I'm sorry, say that again. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
That was TV at that time. So absolutely, a lot of the African American audience felt that way. We weren't,
Okay.
wasn't gravitated towards watching that show. I actually watched the show.
Right.
So I mean, I was very familiar with it, and with choosing the episodes that we chose like the most popular episode for each show, like series that we chose. So that
Wow. And that
it was the grabbing on that, and that was the most popular episode.
but I see why. Like, I obviously, as never having watched it, I like, it was just such a great, clear episode. And to me, Sterling Brown is inimitable. Let's just, I just have to put it out there. Like, he's amazing. But like they worked that like they worked that. So I just, my hats go off. Mhm.
I'm so glad that people received it because we weren't trying to recreate or try to reboot Friends. We paid homage to every, this is paying homage to every show, letting people know that not only were we having our Martins and our girlfriends and all of our shows, there was a time that this is what the only audience that we were able to, and people did watch it. And they
Right.
were able to, and we can, and we were kind of saying that this is what we can do. We can do the same thing.
Wow.
It doesn't have to be an, like how Friends was based. It was an all, pretty much an all white cast, and pretty much not very many black guest stars.
Right.
So it was kind of like for paying homage, but this is like we could do it too,
We could, and it rocked.
and it
Like,
was, and it was
it
no
rocked.
disrespect, and it was like, and actually the writer of that episode loved that we paid homage.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Warner hit us the next day and was like, thank you, and it was great. The actors and the actors, everybody loved it.
Wow. I want to find out a little bit more about maybe what else is next. But to you, Lindsay, so you were putting on, so since your show had a different type of structure, like what went into you choosing the comedians that you chose from week to week? Because one of the things that you always stress every time we came on, that this was nothing was ever vulgar, but there was freedom of speech. So how did you select comedians that were, because you had always, for anybody that maybe didn't get to watch our shows, I don't know if we can figure out, maybe I don't know if there we can figure out a way to set up our archives. We have to figure that out, because
Yeah, it's
we always had, I just want to say this as a shout out to Lindsay, we had such a diverse show. We always had African Americans, we had South Asian, we had Latino, and this is in our performers, we had LGBTQ plus. What went into the composition of choosing artists for each show, Lindsay?
Well, I am really proud of our diversity, and it actually just stemmed out of my seeing so many people that the people who struck me as the most interesting had different stories. So there was no intentional move towards diversity. It just happened naturally out of I don't want to say a meritocracy, because like comedy is so subjective, but in terms of the stories that I wanted to hear and the things that were making me laugh, came from a diversity of spaces. So I went to everything that I could. I went to lots of open mics. I went to lots of shows. I asked people. I asked friends of friends. I posted. I did everything I could to just see lots and lots of comedians, and the same with musicians. Musicians were actually harder to find. Comedians, I found everybody wanted to jump in. It was very easy to get comedians. It was, I don't want to, not, it's not as dramatic as heartbreaking, but it was kind of sad that we had to limit. Like there were so many more people that I wanted to include as well. And I hated saying no to people. But there was just such a wealth of talent. And I feel like we really lucked out in terms of who was excited about the project too. Oh, and we found people off of Instagram, and we found people off of recommendations, and it was a wide net.
Let me ask you this, Lindsay, before I go back to Yolanda. What do you think, like, since none of us can predict the future, and Yolanda, I want definitely your input here. I'm starting with you, Lindsay. Like, clearly on the media side, regular television production, they've done everything. So they're back in business. Like, I don't think any of our shows are delayed. I think everything may have been delayed by time, but I think just about everybody that I'm aware of, at least the things that I like, they're all back. But what do you think will be the place, Lindsay, for Zoom and streaming live comedy like this, or these types of shows beyond COVID? So when we're able to go back to going into comedy clubs, do you think that there's something we'll be able to take with us that Zoom has taught us?
Oh, yeah. I think that's a really good insight. I think during this time, we've been given the gift of Zoom comedy, which has obvious problems. I mean, the biggest problem being that you don't have that live audience energy to play off of, and that connection that you can build. But there is something that can be very polished but playful about Zoom. It's not, the crowd work is very different, but it's still possible to have crowd work. So I think after, once we get back to before times, we have after times, and COVID is done, I think that there still will be a place for Zoom, because the other thing is that it has made geography irrelevant. We have in one show, you can have people from Japan. In fact, we did. We had Japan and DC and New York and all over California and, Texas, and like all in one show. And you can't do that when something's live. It's inherently local. And I think it opens you to different perspectives and to different stories when you can get that international and cross-national perspective as well.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kate Canner. Thank you, Kate R. Canner. She says, good question. So Yolanda, to you, like, your blessing is like super mixed, because again, we named some of your talent, some of your credits, and I'm sure that IMDb is on the short end of what you have provided, just from what I know personally. But in your business, where you are, regular production is coming back. So that means that as a casting director, you're still kind of, you're back to a good bit of before times business. But after having worked on this project, where do you see the place of Zoom entertainment at these higher levels with higher, with higher level stars, because you worked with these great folks? Do you see it as having a place?
Oh, I
You know.
absolutely do. I absolutely see it having a place, because it's a safe haven now for those that will feel, that they might want to do projects. And I think that Zoom saw how much of a response that it got. So that, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, because technically Zoom is kind of technically, it's like a channel. The way they
Yeah.
run everything is like a channel. So I don't see, I see them definitely, capitalizing and definitely taking it further, a step further with doing it, because of the graphics and the things you can drop in and the green screens and all of that. They just have so much to be able to do. Yeah, it's definitely got a place. Absolutely.
I want to shift, starting with you, Yolanda, a little bit to kind of, given every the breadth of your own career, and we talked about it again before, a little bit before the show started. Um, what do you think in your own career as a casting person, and even as a production person? Because I know that you did some production, like, prepared you for this moment. Is there anything in particular that you say, hey, I'm so glad that these are the skills that I have? Anything in particular over your years that prepared you for a moment like this?
I would have to say that I kept really great relationships with people that I was able to pick up the phone and call them. And I've been very consistent over my 25 plus years in casting, that having a good relationship and not burning bridges. And you might not have to pick up the phone every day, but as long as you are consistent and you are thoughtful and you think about these people and in your work process, because I am there, I am someone that, that employs them. Then it was kind of like an easy shift for me to be able to do it. And I think that was why it was okay. I think that's when Regina was just like, boom, you can do this, because if you can pick up the phone. If you can't, I will. So it was kind
Wow.
of one of those great kind of like it led me up to that, definitely. And having to be like, I call Anthony Anderson, like, I need you to do this, and he's like, oh yeah, okay, I got you. So that's having those great relationships and never weighing from who I was and who I and the respect that I have. It definitely left me up to this moment.
Wow. And I have one more question for you, but I want to jump to Lindsay, because before we get out of here, and you both, ladies, you both have the opportunity to stay with us a little longer on the broadcast, because we've got some segments. However, I know what time it is where you are, Yolanda. So I want to ask Yolanda, I want to ask Lindsay something, but I want to talk a little bit about, for maybe 30 seconds or
Yeah.
more, One Night in Miami. What I think is, I'm sorry, I get a little teary, but I want to talk about that before we let you go. Lindsay, what do you think? Because you're an actress and you're a comic, and I met you as a comic, and I'm just, for me as a comic, I'm learning so much from you. Tell us, what do you think are the things that your career up to this point prepared you? Because you talked about working with the International Film Festival. What are the things that you think prepared you for working with this Zoom show and its success? Because, just for the record, you guys, we didn't talk about it, but we raised money, and we definitely we got up to large audiences for our scale. So we're very proud of all of those things. But tell us what you think in your career prepared you for this work.
Yeah, I think running a film festival really had a lot of the same patterns of doing things, of dealing with people, of making things happen. But I've always loved running projects. I mean, when I was 12 years old, I kind of gathered my friends together and had us start a little newspaper. Like, I've always, if I don't have a project, then I feel like something is missing in my life. So, in a way, the project let me do it. Like, it was an opportunity for me to do something that I would be doing in some form anyway. If I wasn't doing something for the film festival, then I might be just producing comedy shows. It was something that I was actually kind of leaning towards as a comic. So I kind of had it spinning around when this opportunity came up. And yeah, it was amazing to find such a willing and dedicated group of performers and a team. I think pulling it together under the Biden Harris umbrella really it was a wave of hope. You know, it really, I think, was an opportunity for uplift for all of us, and it was amazing to be able to community build.
To community build. Amen. Amen. Amen.
I like the way you said that. Community build, absolutely.
Amen. So Yolanda, before we let you get out of here, tell us the what's happening, like the latest for you that we can promote and tell people about and say this is her work, go see it.
Well, my latest, as you guys know, is coming out January 15th on Amazon. One Night in Miami. I am really super, super duper excited about working on this project with Kim. I worked with Kim Harden and Kristen Bustamante, and it was the best experience because I did a worldwide search on this. Like I did, I mean, literally Australia, London. Like I went everywhere for this project, and to see this come out, and you guys have to realize that this was a play that Keith Powers did, and for it to be set up the way she shot it, Regina shot this. You get the same feel of it. I just can't wait for you guys to see it. I'm just so happy to be a part of the project. I can't wait till it comes out because everyone will see what all of those hard, long months was worth. And I'm still teaching my acting classes. I started it back up this week. So I do Zoom acting classes. So it's great because now I have everyone from Washington to Texas to Florida. So I'm not just in New York doing that. And there are some things coming on the horizon in the new year. We're not going to jinx it.
Got it. No, we respect that. So let me just say this.
Work with all of these other directors like Kristen Swanson and Sanaa Lathan and Gina Prince Bythewood. It reignited the great relationships. So I really looking forward to 2021.
And you guys, just so that everybody knows, she was naming the directors of the different episodes because I feel like we 30 minutes, but man, we have to have you both back. But I just want to say this, you guys, Yolanda is the real deal. Like Lindsay, Yolanda, they're talking about Oscar. I'm gonna cry. I'm sorry. They're talking about Oscars for these cats in this film. They're talking about like how they're gonna campaign. So it is, and all I keep thinking, and I'm trying to stay business, is my friend Yolanda, is part of that. And it's just very exciting because, if you don't know who Leslie Odom is, I'm like, but all the cats,
like Hamilton, and working with, I'm just, these guys, the best ensemble. And Eli, you guys are going to be so taken back by his performance. These people embodied these people. I mean, these are real people. So it's not like, it's somebody you're being made up. These people that are, legacies and
right.
And it's really, it's going to be.
And let's give everybody the premise in case there's anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about. So let's go back for a second. And I know, and I know our time is up with you, Yolanda and Lindsay. I'm coming back. We got one more question for you. So a couple of things given the time. So that people know, the backdrop is this. There is a great play. Let me start with this play first. There's a great play called The Meeting. And The Meeting is a play that is very huge in the African-American theater community. And it chronicles a fictionalized meeting. What would it have been like if Martin Luther King and Malcolm X had actually met and spent time together? What people don't know is that Malcolm was actually younger than Martin. But Malcolm was killed before Martin, younger than Martin, and they met in an airport. The one iconic photo that we ever see of them together is that they were crossing paths in an airport. But this incredible theater piece was written, I want to say 60s, maybe 70s, but maybe 60s, that chronicles them, talking through their views. And it's been something that's, again, part of African-American theater canon, where you see it tour, where you see it in a lot of local Black theater houses. Now let's go to One Night in Miami. One Night in Miami chronicles real live people who actually met and spent this one night together in this hotel, where you had Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, who had won a championship fight, Sam Cooke, and Jim Brown, who were four men at the time, really at the height of in their own lanes of what they were doing. And so this is I mean, there will not be a way, obviously, for us to know the details of those conversations. However, because the FBI was following Malcolm X at the time, and not Martin Luther King, and Muhammad Ali, and had them tapped, we know that it happened. So we're talking about Regina King having the opportunity. And tell me the playwright's name. I don't want to leave him out. What's his name?
Powers.
We're talking about Keith Powers saying that we want to explore this space and bring to life this historical moment, and then Regina King having an opportunity to get a hold of the script and be the director, and then bring it to larger audiences outside of Florida. Because if I'm not mistaken, Keith isn't he based in, where is he based?
He's actually based on the East Coast,
right?
But it was a long standing that the play was in London.
Okay.
For years, long standing. So, I mean, it's been around for a very, very long time. And, for this to be her directorial debut.
Right.
And to have this and to have all of this Oscar buzz behind it, it's just, it's just a great ride to be a part of.
Right. So we just want to big up to you, Yolanda. We want to just congratulate you, because you have, again, you're saying you have a 25-year career. You look 27, you look 30. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You look.
I'll be 50 this year, so we got to,
right. The turn up is real.
The turn up is real.
You're looking good, sis. And so I just want to shout you out in that way, you guys. So One Night in Miami coming to Amazon in January, but they are going to get it in a couple of theaters before the year.
They're going to do a couple of theaters, but it is going to come out via Amazon.
Right. And everybody that I know that has on the other side of the business, the agenting men that have seen screenings, they're all raving about it. So we are
nothing but great things.
Right.
Coming back from it. Yeah. You guys had a screening, a drive-through screening a couple of weeks ago in LA.
Right.
At the Grove, and it was, people were calling me from it like, it's so good, I can't wait. I was like, I'm so glad you guys get the screening and you guys are going to support it. So absolutely.
Amen. With that, Yolanda, we know it's midnight where you are. We are so grateful to have had you. Lindsay, hold on. We've got another question for you. So Yolanda, we understand. You got to go to bed and you got to go to work tomorrow.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And I would be glad to come back.
You will. Yeah. You will.
Pleasure meeting you, Lindsay. We need to talk.
Yeah, love that.
Absolutely. Enjoy, you guys.
Thank you.
Bye, Yolanda. All right. So Lindsay, and again, this is our last question for you. And then if you want to stay with us, we do a lot of fun stuff. We've got our other co-host in the house, one out, one in. We've got Dan back in. So everybody was asking, Natalie, man, I meant to, and I didn't, and I had it in my head. So you guys, my dear friend, my child's godmother, I got to shout Natalie out, because when we worked with Yolanda, we were all in the same building. And so I meant to let Yolanda know Natalie was here, and I forgot. And Natalie, my heart, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. To you, Lindsay, last question. And again, if you want to stay, we want you to stay. Like, what's next? Where do we see you? Where do we look forward to seeing your face next? And tell us what's on the horizon, and tell us what big Zoom plans, what are you cooking up?
Yeah. I'm just sort of taking a beat and reinflating, but I'm working with the Senate races in Georgia. I'll be text banking and doing the postcards and all that sort of stuff for them. That's really kicking off. And then I have several comedy shows coming up, and people can reach me at Loon Laughs. That's my handle on everything, Loon Laughs, and it's loonlaughs@gmail.com if anybody wants to get on a list to see, what's going on. But a few comedy shows and hoping to change this country for the good.
Amen. What's okay? You're saying a few comedy shows, but tell us at least one where they can tune in. Anything coming up this weekend or next week?
There's not.
Okay.
It's a private client. It's a private software company, so I
got it. Okay, nothing. Okay, so no worries. I just there's so many great, and you guys are starting kind of a great series that we're going to keep doing on here, which is just bringing on great content producers in the time of COVID, because we just have so many that are doing so many great things, and from the scale of what Yolanda and that team did to what you are doing, and to what some of the great names that we'll mention that folks may not know, but Keisha Norton and Trish Sullivan and Mayor Chohan, so many great folks that maybe you guys have never heard of, but they're keeping, and Ann Lucero, Anna the Russian down in Miami. The list goes on of folks that are doing comedy content in the time of COVID. And so we're just very proud to have you and to know that we did it. That's, I feel like that's the only thing I didn't get to say, that we can say that we did it, that we had, my dad always says it, we put footprints on the moon with this. You know what I'm saying? We put, I mean, my dad didn't make that quote, but my dad always says I had some footprints there, but that's what we're talking about, being able to say that in this historic win, the work of Lindsay Loon, the work of Londa Hunt and Regina, all these folks.
Dana Keel, yeah.
Thank you. We had something to do with that,
Yeah.
And so good stuff. Well, we definitely look forward to having
I also find it extremely fascinating to meet a comedian who is volunteering to do administrative work. That's awesome.
Outreach, it has to be done. So yeah.
So
one thing is that we will be picking up the series again, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do it before the races end as a promotion for the races and a fundraiser and a community building thing, or if we're just going to do it afterwards as a private, as a public thing, but non-partisan, just comedy and music. But it will be happening. If anybody's interested in the shows, please contact me. They will be happening. I'm just not sure when.
Right. And I'm with you. And you guys, if we're always, if there are people out here that are listening and, and you can let us know what you've either hosted or maybe show run on Zoom. We want to stack a good deck for producing whatever is left. So we'd love to hear from you. You guys, my handle is there, but Lindsay Loon Laughs everywhere. And with that, just congratulations, Lindsay. And let me see, I was looking to see if there were any more questions and there were not. So with that, so we have a couple of segments we've got coming up before we have our next guest at 9:25. So we've talked through. So in terms of time, you guys talk to me. What do we even have? I know, is it time for Amanda, or what do we do? Or you got to go, Lindsay? I understand.
Do I hop off now? Is that?
No, you're welcome to stay, but I just looked at the time, so our clock is a little off. Are we going to have time
to watch you guys from off camera?
Say that again.
Can I watch you guys from off camera?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So you got it. So Stefan, we're off.
Right. Lindsay's going off to do something in secret. Yes. Okay. How are you guys doing?
No worries.
Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
Well, hold on a second. Let me say this before you start in, Dan. To Lindsay, Natalie Booker, who came to the shows, who's on here with us, says, "Great job, Lindsay, on the Biden-Harris victory shows. It was such a good place to de-stress from it all and get involved." Thank you, Lindsay, and thank you, Natalie, for such an amazing comment. Because Natalie came to those shows, you guys. She was, she'd probably get a perfect attendance award for coming to the Biden-Harris show. She came to quite a few, and we are grateful because we had a lot of great repeat supporters like that, people who came in every week to check out what was going on and to be a part of the process and be a part of the vibration. So thank you, Natalie. And Lindsay, I'm praying that you hear that and you can see that. All right. And Anthony Villarreal says that he was just popping in to say hey and give support, which sounds like I'm in, but I'm out. Anthony, that's what that sounds like. I'm saying hello, but goodbye at the very same time.
He's a busy man. He's a great dubstep DJ, so he's probably got some stuff to do. Yeah, I'm a little bit late. I was at the first show of the Dow Comedy Showcase, supporting some friends. I got my first show coming up this Saturday. Come on. So anyways, I'm going to put the flyer on it tomorrow. But anyways, just that's why I was a little late. I wanted to make sure that I was supporting fellow classmates.
Always golden rule. That's what all of my one of my acting teachers says. Golden rules. We got to buy a ticket to sell a ticket. Like you can't always, as the old folks say, you can't always show up somewhere with your hand out. You have to have, put something in to
See,
no
people,
worries,
that's why comedians aren't going to make any money, because the minute someone buys a ticket to our show, we buy a ticket to their show, and they buy a ticket to their show. And so, donate to your local comedian any way you can. I don't know.
Give,
whiskey, whatever.
All right. Uh-oh.
No.
All right, so we're getting ready to have another guest. I'm
Yes.
excited.
Oh yes.
This is someone else, big up that I've met during on the comedy scene. Stefan, tell us
Oh
about
yeah.
about
So
Blonde
Amanda
Bitch LA.
Amanda Michelle. I met her when she was hosting Flappers, and she was doing tech, and she's a really awesome person. And we did a what is it? A Flappers 48-hour film challenge, and I believe we won a round. We got first place one of the rounds. It was called Space Date, and she also directs and writes and does comedy as well. And we're gonna bring her on. Hello.
Hello. Oh,
Hello.
you're muted at the moment, Amanda. Sorry. No one can hear the bat
All
signal.
right, there we go. Yay! Oh, okay. Do I
Yeah.
need to take that down? I forgot.
No, you know what I love to do with the bat signal every once in a while? I like to move it to a lighthouse.
Oh my lord.
All
Anyway.
right. I don't know where you would find a lighthouse, but
It keeps them busy for hours.
I get it. I didn't get it until right now. I'm gonna grab
I'm
my
going to
drink.
cut that one from my bit.
I'm like, I'm funnier when I have a cocktail in my hand. So here we go.
So tell me what brought you to stand up comedy?
What brought me to stand-up comedy was I heard you guys talking earlier about SNL, and that honestly was why I got into stand-up, because I went through Second City, I went through iOS, currently still at Groundlings, but who knows if when we could take a class in person again. And I know that they would also recruit stand-up, especially in the recent years. And I'm like, well, I'm going to try it. I've already taken all these other classes. I've already graduated from conservatories. And then I think it was also that I was in improv groups, and sometimes no one would show up. We had like 5 to 10 people and booking so many shows. I'm like, screw this. And I'm like, I've already been told like I'm funny. I'm already a writer. I might as well fucking go do stand up. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear. I probably can't.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Well, you can.
Well, I did.
We're almost
I'm gonna do
sponsored. Not
stand-up.
yet.
Oh, okay, not yet. Okay, I'll behave myself when you guys are sponsored. If I'm welcome back. So, and then I'm just like, then I only have myself to count on. So I'm just like, all right, I'll try stand up. The first time I did stand up was actually at the Comedy Store main room.
Ooh.
I did so well that they let me go on for like 10, 15 minutes. And Lorenzo Lamas, I think he's from Knight Rider, came up to me after, and they're like, bullshit, that wasn't your first time doing stand up, because they're like, oh, her first time performing in Amanda Michelle probably was my name at the time, which still is. Anyways, and then he's like, no, you're not. This may be your first time at this club, and I'm like, no, this was my first time ever doing stand up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I can do this since people think I'm a pro, I guess.
Right. And just for the record, my Gen X hairs went up when you said he's from Knight Rider.
Is that where he's from?
No,
Renegade, right?
So no, Lorenzo Lamas did soaps for years. Like, but
I have no idea.
Michael, oh my gosh, his from Baywatch did Knight Rider. Oh my gosh, what is the actor's name? But anyway, but Lorenzo Lamas was definitely a cutie of the '80s. But
he did
his
Highlander. I think he did Highlander.
But his biggest, like I think the beginning of his career that so many of us know is, just the soap. I want to say General Hospital. I'm trying to think, but definitely a cutie. Like he's, I think before we had an awareness of a Latin movement. But anyway, I digress. But that was Michael. What is the dude from Baywatch? Like I am trying to give you a hard time.
And David Hasselhoff.
Yes, Dave. Okay, so David Hasselhoff was like. David Hasselhoff. I don't know where Michael even came from. So anyway, let me not give you a hard time. And I've just I big up to you, Amanda Michelle, because I've been on shows that you've hosted, definitely. And we've actually taken class together. I think during Burbank Comedy Fest, we took a class together.
Oh,
and,
yes.
Yeah. And so I love your work, and your voice is so fresh. I mean, I know I think you've probably been at stand up longer than I have, but just an amazing voice. And so awesomeness.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've had the privilege to do shows or classes with all of you guys, so it's awesome to be here, and you guys are hilarious, or else I wouldn't be here.
Thank you.
What?
You were gonna say something, Dan. What were you gonna say, sir?
Well, now it's out of the moment. I was just going to give a fun fact. Lorenzo Lamas did not raise llamas. So just so nobody has that misconception.
Gotcha, man. I see you.
Oh, okay.
See, I told you it's a little bit past the point where it would work. But oh well, we said it anyway.
So who are some comedians that influence you or that inspire you?
I would say Molly Shannon, going back to the older, as I was going to say funnier SNL days, but they always have their moments, and I've always felt, even if it's not like the best lineup or best episode or best, there's always funny moments, and I've always been obsessed with the show, and you have to give them credit for like the turnaround of like material and memorizing that they do. Even if it wasn't like the funniest thing I ever laughed at, like you still have to give them credit. So anyways, growing up in Ohio, I was in the closet. People would make fun of me because I was gay before I knew I was gay. So I found out, instead of people laughing at me, I can get them to laugh with me by telling jokes. So I would reenact like Molly Shannon Superstar. That movie came out. So I would, Mary Catherine Gallagher. And then all her characters, I would memorize all the SNL sketches and like come to school on Monday and have them all like memorized. I also would, like, Austin Powers was big. I'm dating myself, but I don't care. Austin Powers, like I memorized that whole movie, and I would do like my Dr. Evil, like the whole dance with Mini Me, and like just ridiculous stuff. So that anyways, I did that because I'm like, well, people aren't gonna laugh at me anymore. I mean, they are, but hopefully they're laughing with me. So
You're right. It's
Shannon,
to the side.
sure.
To the side. You're right. I got it wrong. I was doing my cute face. My like Instagram selfie. Ooh. But no, this is Dr. Evil. She's right. She's right.
Fun fact.
You're right. It's even the hand is cocked right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh, I'm going back to acting class.
Oh, that's okay. I don't know if they teach you that in acting class. They might. I don't know.
They used to until he perfected it. No one else can do it again.
Method actor.
So what made you make a podcast? What brought about the podcast? Cheers to that.
Oh, I was gonna say, I actually got to meet Molly Shannon in real life, and I started having like a nervous breakdown because she's also from Ohio, and she's like very nice, and she tried to have this whole conversation with me because I was telling her about like, you're the reason why I'm comedy, you're the reason why I came out to LA, you're like my hero, and I was like about to cry, and she was like asking me so many questions, like truly seemed genuinely interested in getting to know me, and I was like, okay, bye, and I like ran away. I was working retail at the time, and I just saw her in the store, and I ran up to her like a nerd, and then I was so very awkward. But I hope I get a chance to meet her and work with her again. But it was so funny because of all the celebrities, all the people, like that was the person who I met. I mean, we live in LA, you meet so many celebrities, at least I have. That was the one person who I'm just like literally crying, hyperventilating.
I like how you ended the story, okay, bye. Because the minute you did that, all I heard was the Larry David Curb Your Enthusiasm music in my head right away.
No, yeah, it gets like that, you know. When I met, I went to Consign CDs, and I met Tim Robbins at the Tower Records in Hollywood before it got taken down. And that was, meeting people that you look up to or admire can be hard.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it was a good interaction, so that makes it even better, because it's bad when you like meet somebody that you're just like, oh, I love your work, and then they're just like, fuck you. They don't say fuck you, but they might as well just say fuck you and walk away, because that would have been better than the reaction I got.
You know, Stefan, you said Tim Robbins, and I had to look him up to remember who he was, and I'm like, oh yeah, the guy that reminds me of a less threatening Kevin Spacey. Cool.
Shawshank Redemption. Wow, that's so funny. Amanda, you make a good point, though. I think like one of my greatest lessons being in LA, because I worked retail too, so I was working in Banana Republic when I first got to LA, and it was a swivel door of, you name it. Like, I mean, from Chris Rock to Gerald Busby, you guys probably wouldn't know who that is, but just so many people. And I remember he was a behind the scenes music executive that is legendary in Black music. But I remember like shortly after Oscars that year was 97. And Emma Thompson had won for Best Adapted Screenplay on Sense and Sensibility. And she came into Banana Republic. And I was such a bother. And I was such a bother in the worst way, because I didn't even really know what to say. We had just, Banana Republic had just rolled out skincare at the time. I don't think they sell it anymore. So I was trying to show her lotion, but I didn't have anything intelligent to say. And there we are with lotion. I think she eventually was just like, I'm going to walk away gently, but I'm going to walk away from this young woman because she's not saying anything. Like, so I understand like being, and at that time I love her more now than I even loved her then. I was just starstruck at that moment. And now 20 years later, I would give anything just like she is to me. She's like all things that I would love to be, like actress, writer, able to do all these things successfully and be funny. But and still have a career that was 20 plus years ago, and she's still, whatever. So it's a very serious thing to figure out, how do we make these interactions make sense and not, whatever. But I think it's also beautiful. It's beautiful in this vibrational way that you attracted at least connecting with the person that is your reason, like that's very powerful. Despite however it turned out, no one can take away from you what that meant. The encounter. That's a great word, the encounter.
Yeah. No, that's rare, man.
Definitely.
It's rare. I've never met Jim Carrey yet. Damn it.
Put it out there. Maybe you will.
Yeah. But what brought your podcast? What made that? What?
Here's a
I know. I
question.
was thinking.
How did your podcast come about?
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
Steph.
that's all, folks. Like I mentioned, I went through Second City, and my best friend I met at Second City. This was about, I think, 9 years ago, to be honest. Yeah, about 9 years ago. We went through the whole program. We just ended up being in every single class together. Yeah. And the day we found out we were friends is I went up to him and I took his coffee and I said, I need that. And he's like, oh, okay. And this witch coming up to me stealing my coffee. Oh, okay. So anyways, after we went through the whole program, we're like, well, YouTube was popular at the time. I mean, it's still popular, but YouTube, I think, was still coming, like, it was making its notice at the time, I think, with podcasts and shows and all that. So I'm like, all right, well, let's do a show and let's do something. We could do something. Why not? And then we did the first episode. I think it was an hour of us just sitting at like a bench at his house and just talking trending topics. So awkward. We did a dance break in the middle of it. And then we're like, this is boring. We need to like evolve this. So then we started bringing on guests, and now we've turned it into Cheers to That Happy Hour Live. We adjusted during the whole shutdown. We shoot it every Friday, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And we have guests. We drink. We play a drinking game. Starting this month, we're going to have people come on and do like a 5-minute stand-up set. So just to kind of make it just like, a fun, interactive like show, like a happy hour with, with some drinking games, some entertainment. We talk trending topics, and we have everybody on, from actors, writers, musicians. And that also gives them an opportunity to, like this, like talk about yourself. So that's how we got into it. And we also do the sketches, like Stefan was saying. We also do we try to do at least a sketch a month onto the YouTube channel. So we were doing podcasts and we didn't even know it was a podcast. We just thought it was like a talk show on YouTube, but now it's a podcast, I guess.
I can't even remember what game we were playing for the drinking game. I don't know why.
Oh, because we were probably drunk by time we played.
We're hammered by that point. No, I remember I was actually pretty hammered, and I was like, it's only 6:30 at night now. Or 7:30, something like that. I was like, oh boy, I drank the good beers early. Yeah. It was a great night, though. Thank you for bringing us there. Oh, yeah. I'm amazed that you do that well. Like, you bring on a lot of guests, and you do well with keeping them, interactive, but not totally jumping on each other, which, happens in a lot of shows. I mean, including ours. But it was a really fun show to be on.
Lindsay. She says dance breaks are always good. I love it. I mean, we can do one right now. I'm not going to stand up I guess I could stand up in my closet, but then you're not going to see me. Or the jazz hands is like the whatever.
What's the Trump like?
Oh.
I'm sorry. I think I'm offending people.
Lindsay turned me on to dance breaks. I didn't even really know that a dance break was really a thing. Like, I just love to dance, period, good or bad. And certainly, thank God I can dance better than Trump. But I just think that's amazing. Lindsay also...
schools, like they telling you that you can't have a dance break. Why not do that in school? Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and in some schools they do. Lindsay had a question, and I know you've said it once. Amanda, can you just say one more time, maybe a little slower, the name of your podcast?
Sure.
It's crawling across the bottom, but please say it, tell us.
Yeah, of course. It's called Cheers, the number 2, that. You can find it, Cheers to That Happy Hour Live. We do it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and I think I threw it on LinkedIn just because it sounds stupid that the drinking podcast would be on LinkedIn. Why not? And you can also find us on social media at Amanda, Michelle, and Shamar. It might be easier to find us that way as well.
Okay.
And yeah,
and
we're
also,
always looking for guests. You guys are welcome back, or anyone else that wants to come on, do it.
we want to do it. And also, I agree with you about LinkedIn. Like, it's LinkedIn literally is that's what we should call it, the why not of social media.
Yeah.
Because it's like I when I was doing like these I was doing like these kind of spiritual classes on Facebook, and I would just like post them. I was like, why not? Like, I don't know that anybody over here cares, but why not? I agree. It's the why not of social media.
Well, Tinder is called.
Say that again, Amanda. I didn't hear you.
That should be their new slogan. Why not? LinkedIn.
Why not?
The why not of social media. There
Yes.
you go.
I think that LinkedIn, Tinder wanted to be called LinkedIn, but it was already taken. So it's horrible.
I get it. I thought you meant the other way around. I've heard people is now actually hooking up on LinkedIn. I've heard of people like doing what you're supposed to do on Tinder on LinkedIn instead. So I guess that's a new hookup spot. I wouldn't know.
Well, it's better than doing like what you're supposed to do on LinkedIn on Tinder. Like, ooh, those are great abs. Hey, can you file things?
Oh
you know what collate means? Anyway.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I love the name of the show because it sounds like a movie that was for Cheers 2, but the subtitle is just that. That would be awesome. Cheers to that.
Like the show Cheers?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Oh, because I don't really get it either.
That.
I was like, I'm gonna wait. I'll wait.
You know what? The reason why you don't get it is they never had a Cheers 1. I'm just living out my imagination.
Oh, okay. I think with the show Cheers. I'm like, I know they drank at a bar. I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Yeah. It was a good show. Plenty of 80s misogyny if you're into that. Awesome.
I'll pass.
Oh my. Oh my. So
Sam is a bartender that sleeps with a lot of pretty ladies. That's Cheers.
Not during COVID, you're not, Sam. Not during COVID,
Sam. No. So you have a fundraiser. You want to tell us about your fundraiser?
For sure. So because I'm one of the crazy people that instead of like, hey, the world shut down, why don't you take a break? I'm like, no, I'm gonna do the opposite. I've been working on a TV pilot for the past 2 years. I then wrote it down to a proof of concept. So I started before the shutdown, some of the scenes I shot, and it's called Diva Dads. It's basically based off of my life growing up in Ohio, struggling with my sexuality. Like I said, being bullied for being gay before I knew. My mother kicking me out of the house, saying, go live with your father, who I didn't really have a relationship with. So I moved to San Francisco after high school to go live with him and his partner. And I've, it's a coming of age story. It's a family story, trying to reconnect with your family, as well as coming out and struggling with my sexuality. So it's called Diva Dads. It's mostly based off my life, but we're going to say interpretation, so no one sues me. So I'm shooting that. Yeah. So the fundraiser is for that production. We have 2 dates. To sound even crazier, we're shooting tomorrow and Sunday during fucking LA restrictions and all that. But we are abiding by every single restriction. It is a SAG-AFTRA project. And we are fundraising. You can go to GoFundMe, Diva Dads, or hashtag Diva Dads, or follow me on any of my social media, Blonde Bitch LA. I feel like the story I've been working on for so long, 3 years. Now I'm finally shooting it. So near to my heart. It's like, there needs to be more diversity out there. There needs to be more LGBTQ QRS TV shows out there, because we need to see it. Because something like that when I was growing up probably would have made me come out sooner and be a lot more comfortable in my skin, and saying like it's okay to be gay and not. I don't know. I feel like these stories need to be told, and to have something like this, I'm going to submit it to festivals, and hopefully somebody would be interested into putting this on a network, streaming, broadcast. I don't care. It could be single cam or multicam. I would say it's Will and Grace, Birdcage, with the heart of This Is Us.
Very nice.
Oh no! Now I know what happened to one of the dads at the end.
That's a pitch. That's a great pitch. That's a great pitch, Amanda.
Thank you.
Oh no, I'd watch it. I agree. There should be more representation. There's not enough representation of the vast sea of different people. Yeah.
And the story takes place in San Francisco. So, I mean, obviously it's very diverse in San Francisco. So the entire cast is going to be diverse. Obviously, except for like my father is an Italian. And then the guy that's playing my stepdad is actually mixed race. I believe mixed race. His name's Clint Bowers. He's been on Broadway. He's playing Danny, which is the stepdad, and Aaron Bray is playing John, who's like the stubborn Italian, kind of closeted away Catholic Italian man. So it's so much fun. It's literally like watching a modern Birdcage. So I hope you guys check it out, and once I can screen it, or if it gets into a festival or something, I'll definitely share the news.
If you have a trailer or something, let us know, and we'll definitely promote and
cool.
Share
once I get there, we're almost there. This is the home stretch.
And isn't it great to live in a time where you do a show in San Francisco and some producer doesn't ask you, when's the car chase?
Oh, is that
wow? So you guys were talking about 80s stuff earlier. I bring up 70s stuff, and everybody's like, "What?
Are we talking about?"
I wasn't even alive then.
Are we talking about Bullet with Steve McQueen? Is that what we're talking
about? I'm talking about the fact that every San Francisco show back in the 70s had to have that car chase with them jumping down the hills. But I would be more impressed if it was one of those iconic streets with the curves. But they never did it.
Got it. Okay.
I had no idea. Oh my!
Yeah,
Thanks for the support, Drew. Thanks for the support.
I was just like,
I should have.
Like, we needed. There was more context needed. That's that moment where I think it's important to know that everybody watches TV for different things, and so what one person notices may not be what.
Well, I know what Full House.
You're right.
I was going to say Full House or like Charmed.
Right. Like, I'm a card carrying 70s kid. There's very little. I mean, like for me, I'm Rhoda, Alice, like all the 70s shows.
You're right. I should have made a joke about two babies saying minimalistic lines and making people laugh in Full House. You're right. I got it.
Yeah. You got it, dude.
Yeah. You got it, dude. That's hilarious. Give that girl an Oscar. All right.
Hey, come on, man.
Wait, which one do we give it to? It's two of them, really.
But did you see Fuller House? They make so many bad jokes about those
dating,
the Olsen twins. I mean, a lot of bad jokes in general, but also some bad jokes about the Olsen twins. Just like reenacting old episodes. I'm like, oh Lord. I'm like, I didn't like the show the first time. But I mean, I wish the reboot.
I wish they kept the original name of the Fuller House, which was MILFs Go Dating. Basically the whole show. I don't get that one either. That's okay.
Oh boy.
Oh wait, here you go from Resmoria, YOLO.
Yes, YOLO.
That's my buddy. That's my buddy Logan.
How you doing, Logan? Did you only live once? I know that one. I get that reference, but I don't know, Dan. Most of your references, I have no idea what's happening.
That's okay. Just call me liberal Dennis Miller, I guess.
Thank you, Amanda, because I don't feel so alone all of a sudden.
I'm glad you guys seem to have the same reaction as me. So I'm like, okay.
I don't feel so alone. I don't feel so alone.
I mean, we all joke around. Some work, some don't. I mean, you never know. We're just trying,
Yeah, mine aren't working tonight. Oh well. It's all right. That's why I don't own. Yeah, that's the exact reason why I don't own a gun.
And thank you, Amanda. You've posted, you guys, everybody in the chat, if you want to give to the GoFundMe to help see, because you guys, Amanda, to what you're doing, and a lot of, I feel like what we talked about in the last Zoom that was in the last part about Zoom shows is it's going to be up to us to create the content we want to see. And there has never been a better time than right now. And I, like you, believe that COVID has presented a unique and fertile opportunity to do that. Like, all you have to do is create. I mean, like I said, I was talking to somebody today. I said, it's been a great time. The only thing that's tough is, we don't want it at the expense of 250,000 lives. Not at all. Yeah. We certainly, but for the creative, it has been and continues to be, because we don't know how long, continues to be a way to incubate, and no one can keep saying, I don't know when, now is the time,
A lot of people are on freeze. Some people just hate Zoom so much, or feel that when this is all over, I'm going to do it then. It's like, okay, but what if you die tomorrow?
True.
right? That's
Well,
extreme.
then
but
you can't do it tomorrow.
or
I
next
got
week.
that one.
Completely off limits at that point.
You read my
I
mind. I was like, well, that one's clear. That
I
was
understood
clear.
that one.
But that's all I'm saying is because you don't know when it's your time. Not to be negative, but you want to just keep attacking these opportunities as much as you can. And there's so many opportunities now because so many people are so either hard headed or just don't want to adapt. They just don't want to adapt, right? So they've laid an open road for people who are willing to say, fuck it and go. Really, I think.
That and people are going to want content and they still want
Yeah.
content. I mean, most of us, I think, are at the end of Netflix where it's like you've watched all the shows and movies, go take a break or walk outside. So it's like it's what you're saying. If you want to do something, just do it. I'm not one of those people that's just like, let's talk about it and let's talk about it endlessly to do something. And then you never do anything. So I'm not that person. Like I'm going to do something. I'm going to do it. So
No, yeah, I'm with you,
that's
man.
my mindset.
I worked with musicians who they were like, yeah, man, fires are a great idea. Oh.
Wait,
you do want to be careful with the phrase "fuck it and go" because Weinstein used to use that. So
Who said that?
All right.
Did I say that?
No, Stefan said that. He said, "Fuck it and go."
No, he's talking about what? Harvey Weinstein? You're saying Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah, all right.
That
I'm
ugly.
obviously on a satellite feed today.
Dana's like at a loss for words. She's like, I'm staying back from that one.
Isn't it great where none of us have had to go with Harvey Weinstein into a room?
Woo! Anywho, we love having you on the show, and we'll definitely have to bring you back up when you get your film done, so we can interview you about the film and promote the film and show the trailer.
I thought you were gonna say when you get your shit together. I was like, wow. When you get your shit together, you can come back. It took you the whole quarantine to produce a short film.
You know what? You've just invented a game for us. This is how we got to end every interview, everybody. Well, yeah, we'd like to have you back. Hey, there's our social media. Great things on what you're doing. Come back when you have your shit together. And, it's if they just notice.
Yeah,
no, you obviously can come back anytime. That's not what I...
Okay. When my shit's together. All right.
No. Oh man.
Woo! Okay. I'll cry in my closet later, which is where I'm at right now. So,
but I'd like to get Shamar in here as well.
For sure, definitely.
We could get you guys on here for cheers to that as well and promote.
Definitely would love
to. And I'll work on my jokes by then.
Oh my lord! But again, thank you for joining us.
Sure.
Thank you
Definitely
for coming on.
I apologize, guys. My mic on my side was muted. Can everybody? I apologize. I have a way to make sure that the mic, and I muted it to keep the noise out, and then all of a sudden I was like, no one can hear me. I'm in a glass wall.
I saw you talking, but I'm like, I'm talking to someone else.
And a friend of mine was
dogs like I do, and I'm like.
No. I have a way to mute the mic from on the mic. So I was like, why is it stuck? What's going on? So yes, can't wait to have you back. I don't know if we want to have any more of the HW jokes, the Harvey Weinstein.
I'm like, what did I say?
I don't know if that's what.
Hey, they write themselves. What are you gonna do?
I'll leave it at that. So can't wait though. I just am excited, Amanda, about the content about your show. Like it's just really to me, everybody that's on here. Again, I always joke about it, but if you've got dreams, we've got proof of the truth on here. I mean, obviously, that's the thing. One of the things that was powerful that you talked about, Amanda, is how much you've studied, the work that you've put in at UCB, not UCB, sorry, Groundling, Second City, and even Improv, iOS, and so that's powerful. It prepared you for, the quality of work that's there. So you guys just everybody, study, but study and then do, study and then do. That's the thing. Study and then do. Because everybody's got stories, so just exciting. Because I didn't even when obviously having been where you were hosting, I've learned a whole lot. I knew about the podcast because of our crew here, but learning more about your work and your path is amazing. And again, the prayers that anybody on here, especially content creators that are with us, guys, there is no better time. There's no better moment. Everything is collapsed. We're able to connect with people and in ways that weren't imaginable. I think Yolanda in the last segment said it, like, or Lindsay said it. Geography is not a problem, like, but everything, gatekeepers, all of that, we can bring it straight to the people. And to the point about the Netflix conversation, you never know, like, where your Zoom content or your streaming content can take you. Your show could be the next Netflix show, because the work has been put in now. I know I probably sound like the Baptist preacher, but just to everybody, seriously, it's exciting stuff,
For sure. And I like your Queen's Gambit background. Is that what's going on there?
Like I teach. So yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's that's a real.
Okay.
Right. Speaking of Netflix, this is a real board. I teach kids chess a lot of days out of the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She likes to remind them that most people are rooks.
There you go.
Oh, they're say most people can't play chess. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't even know what the joke. I wish I knew. I wish I was trying to just play along. I was like, I don't know what we mean.
They are the lowest ranking piece.
They're not, though. They're actually a major piece. Like I said, that's why I still don't get the joke, because the rooks and the queens are your major pieces, and they have the highest value next to the queen. Like I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. Help!
He tried. Dad tried.
Yeah, I'm trying a lot tonight. I think I'm gonna try figuring out how you can hold a pillow to your own face for over 5 minutes later. Anyway.
And then pawn.
I get that one.
You're talking about the pawn.
I get that one.
Oh, God damn it! Yes, you're right. A rook is a different thing. Got it. Pawn. Now we get it. Everybody reverse.
I love
change that word with pawn, and it makes sense.
Thank you, Logan. Logan says R.I.P. chess joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. There it goes. You're right. Rooks are different. We just use that term for something else in my group of friends. As a rook is
Ronnie wants to let you know that you're awesome. That him and his wife love you, and you gained a new fan.
Yes, we love it.
Guam Chile on all socials.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Ronnie.
Oh yeah. So
again, I know you could be here. So.
Did you have any shows you want to plug or?
Just cheers to that. I host Flappers open mic Fridays at 8:30 p.m. It's donation based, $5. If you can't afford $5, we do have limited comps. And then I usually host or perform at the Wittiest Woman show at Flappers, and then all over the place virtually for right now. And maybe a parking lot near you soon. Who knows? Maybe I'll show up to a Walmart with my microphone.
Amen. Love it.
On Black Friday.
On Black Friday, love it.
Put your mask on.
Yes, yeah. God, maybe not Walmart unless I don't know. That sounds like a bad idea. Never mind. I'm staying home.
Oh man. All right. Thank you so much for coming, and we will see you soon.
All right. Thank you guys.
Amanda. All right.
I'll get my shit together. Thank you.
Thank you.
What a joke. Great. How was the show, Dan? How were your classmates? How did everybody do? Good show?
Went great. Went damn great. I had to leave a little bit early because I was like, if I miss both hours, and I know Stacy's out sick, so I'm like, I better come in and bomb in front of everyone on the second half because I thought that was a good idea. Oh, well, we have plenty of more shows. Go back and watch the other ones. No, you watch this one. Watch this one. I didn't see the beginning. It was probably great till I showed up.
Best laid plans. No, we've had, and you guys, we've had such a good night, right? I mean, it's still early. We still have, our clock is ticking. So what do we, how do we want to move through this, you guys? Because we have 12 minutes and
I thought we were just going to tell our favorite Weinstein joke. But no, I guess not. I guess not.
I'll leave that right there with I have my gloves on and the long
the 6 foot pole. All right.
And the 6 foot pole.
So here's the weird part is I was originally going to tell that joke as Louis C.K., but I still have a lot more respect for Louis C.K. and I didn't want to do that. He's still a funny man. So even though he did some questionable things, what are you going to do?
They had a comedian at the open mic. It was at, I forget how the joke went, so I'm not going to butcher it too much, but she's like, it's New York when you're in a subway, and what was it? Something about the flashing and shit. And she goes, oh, "Wow, man, what welcome to New York. We got a flasher. Oh wait, that's not just any flasher. That's Louis C.K. on the subway." She's like,
Wow.
it's New York when when you get flashed in a subway by Louis C.K. or something like to that neighborhood. But I thought it was funny.
I don't know.
enjoyed
I would have to say what I love about the whole stories we had with Weinstein is the one where he came to fruition into a plant by the side of a door, and I was like, in a plant? No, that's not going to help it grow any taller. It's like that had to be my favorite story from Weinstein when I heard that whole debacle. What's weird is ever since him, we've caught so many assholes that we forget their stories. Now that's kind of a problem because that's what keeps them as being like the top name is remembering their stories. But like ever since Weinstein, there's been this floodgate of wait, that's bad what Weinstein did. Well, you should figure out what this other guy did because that seems just as bad.
Oh, now there's a lot of evil, disgusting
I know that
people.
there's a lot of bad news to go around, and for
Hey,
for
as a father of daughters, I love the fact that these guys are getting caught now. That means there's
Oh
less
no,
of
of
them when my
course,
kids get older. So
of
right,
course, of course.
uh, yeah, yeah.
Oh my lord. Oh man, Logan.
We'll leave that
I
all that right there. Uh, so at 9:51, you guys, any questions or anything anybody want to share? Because there's a few more people in now, and so when we were having the SNL discussion at the top of the show, Ronnie, were you here? I don't think you were here. Logan, I don't think you were here. You guys let us know if you have any favorite segments. We had a good time because we could, like, here's the thing. I was not a big SCTV or Mad TV watcher, but like I like, we could certainly expand it out. Just a lot of great content over the years. Some of it survived, some of it didn't. SNL certainly has been a mainstay, over 40 years at this point, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe so.
Over 40 years. I can't remember if they celebrated 40 years this year, if they celebrated 40 years last year. Um, but some of the others have come and gone, but but they remain. I just wanted to I think it's an accomplishment, and that they've survived. I'm sure if the walls could talk over there, what would those walls have to say about executives or
Season 46.
yeah, season 46. But I'm trying to think, but does that, like, the season thing was always weird because when I was a kid, shows used to have like television seasons were different than the way that they are now. Like episode order now, like 13 episodes, 26 episodes. Like even the way that you watch TV is very different, and the way that stuff comes out is very, very different. Thank you, Logan. He says he appreciates our dedication to the stream. Yes. We're
and
we're
Logan,
excited.
I will have all the inhalable paint cans I want.
What
I ain't laying off shit.
what is that referred to?
One of his comments.
Oh, okay, got it.
Here, I'll put it up. He said, "Dan, lay off the inhalable paint cans."
All paint cans are inhalable. That was a horrible adjective that you did not need. Superfluous.
Got it. Saturday Night Live premiered in 1975. So it is 46 years old. Yep. Season 46 is the right guy. I was trying to figure out, does that mean that it's every year? But yeah, that's just a season a year. Got it.
Oh, yeah.
So 46. So that's weird. So like, I'm thinking of the 40 years in recent history. That would have been 5 years ago. 40. So that would have been 2015 would have been 40 years. And so,
do you have a favorite host or sketch, Dan? Or
Dan?
both?
So it's weird because like I watched it when I was younger. I don't remember a lot of it because I've enjoyed life since then a little too much. All those paint cans just destroy it. Anyway, inhalable paint cans. Sorry, I forgot the adjective. Anyway, but I remember one. It was after Terminator 2 came out. I think I've mentioned on the show before. Linda Hamilton was the host.
Oh, okay.
And they did the massive Head Wound Harry sketch. Then that was the first one where I saw Wayne's World, where I think she did a cameo on that, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is just great. So I think that might have been, if I remember correctly, one of the ones they had their like first or second Wayne's World sketch, and it really got a lot of notoriety then. But yeah, that's what I remember. I haven't watched a lot of the recent ones, not because I don't want to. It's just because Saturday tends to be a certain night for me. So it's when I have to go pick up all the paint cans. So what's it called? Usually I'm a little bit busy on that, but I haven't watched it for a long time. I've tried to watch all the monologues. I did like Bill Burr's monologue, but I think he's not for everybody. The reason why I liked it is because I'm used to him saying assaholic stuff that's funny. So it's, same reason why I watch a few other comedians. It's like the absurdity of what they say. That's why I like them. But Bill Burr recently had a kid, so I don't think we're going to find out that he's, doing any, interest, well, shall I say, Me Too kind of stuff.
Prayerfully not. Like, he has a beautiful, I hear he has an African American wife, and
yeah,
seems to be a good, like, I mean, I wasn't as familiar with his work until he went viral from SNL. And whether one agrees with it fully or not, I certainly can appreciate a lot of what he had to say in the more broad base. But prayerfully not. Prayerfully he's got a good he's got a good track record in that regard.
What I've always liked about that guy is that he's honest in a way that's very, and it seems like this weird calm neutral where he's honest. Like, he says things that bug everybody. It doesn't matter what their side is, but he's just calmly saying his opinion on anybody's stuff, and for him it's natural for it to come out kind of critical in a way where certain groups don't like it, but he does it to everybody. Every single group out there. Like, if you've seen him, like on Saturday Night Live, he did make fun of a lot of left groups, but I've seen him really make fun of a lot of right groups also, in a way where I've had family members go, what the hell is he saying, this liberal asshole? And then, Saturday Night Live, I guess a lot of people didn't like some of the things he was saying about, white liberal women, but it was pretty funny. It's, maybe not what everybody believes in, but it's just his use of words and the absurdity that comes with them that I love so much. So,
well, at least,
definitely.
I'm still waiting for SNL to have Doug Stanhope host. SNL, have Doug Stanhope host. I mean, might be their last show, but who knows? So,
the page that I took from Bill Burr was just like, I like to see comedians, like, I like potency in the work, and I like when people can go, yeah, Chappelle is king though, I love it. But I like to see people have potency in the work in this way that they can move from line to line, subject to subject, with a great presence and intensity. And when I say intensity, I don't even necessarily mean that they're intense, but just the same evenness. It's, it's almost like conversation, but in this elevated space where it is performance. And so I enjoyed that aspect, just obviously his gift. I enjoy the aspect, it's, and he's a comedian. So initially I had concerns, but then I realized it's like, he's a comedian. Like, and to me, but still a great comment on society in general. But if there are friends, which I did, who feel as though his broad generalizations of leftist white women were unfair, I was like, at the end of the day, the hard thing for any of us to remember is if that's not you, you don't have to own it. Like, it doesn't make him irrelevant as a comic, right? But it just means that if that's not you, don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't get offended so easily.
Right.
And there's you also have to have some playfulness about yourself. Like, my wife made me laugh one day when I wake up. She goes, "Look, honey, I have Starbucks and I'm wearing Uggs."
And I think that's in a time where we are. It's such a great point, and I love that. Like, because everybody doesn't have that, but he was a great reminder in that moment of, where we're all kind of heightened in sensitivity. Like, Oh yeah, like because I had a little steam coming out for for I feel like would have been allies in the movement, but all of a sudden I realized this doesn't diminish anybody's work. This is just one, again, a great comedian. This is one comedian's voice on a matter. It is not the end or the beginning of this. Hopefully, it is just a broader place to have conversation, which is what we hope all of us as comedians can do. We can expand the conversation on any matter. So anyway, so I kind of, I was challenged to look at it in broader ways than what I was seeing in that exact moment.
I mean, there's definitely stuff where he said that I've disagreed with him about how harsh he's been on certain things, but I more just enjoy the absurdity of the way he's saying things. And I think to a point, that's what he knows is funny for his audience is, I'm going to say something I don't totally believe, but I know it's absurd for this audience. Because he's, I do like how he was telling people, don't take the Duck Dynasty guy so seriously when he's against gay marriage, because what did you think was going to happen with that guy?
Right. And wherever I saw that clip, I was just like, you know what? He's right. Like, he's exactly right. There's this place where we get shook up and think that, especially those of us who are social justice warriors on social media, you think you have to respond to every freaking thing, and you just don't. Like, what was our expectation? Like we're over time. So another day, just this idea, it hit home how many people voted for Trump, but I had to also remember the next day that still a majority, though not overwhelming, did vote for Biden. And for that, we are grateful because it tells us we have something to work with. And last but not least, the last word from me, I'll say before I say him goodbye, is that even after the recount, Georgia is blue. Just want to leave it right there. Just for me, that's my, it's my last word.
And Dana and Stefan, because of this beard, I can't wear an orange hat or camouflage cargo shorts, or people come and say funny shit to me in private. So
that's funny, but I get that. I get that. I get that. That's cool. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's where we live. Wow. You guys follow us. Y'all see this stuff. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, under Therapy of the Absurd. We are so grateful that you guys are always here with us. Thank you. Thank you for our dedication to the podcast. Thank you for your dedication to our podcast. We love you all.
Thank you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.